Have you ever had a near-death experience? Or perhaps someone you know may have had a near-death experience? Well, if so, we would love to hear your story and have you as a guest on our podcast. For more information, visit NDE.world. Again, that's NDE.world. We would love to hear your story.
Welcome to the NDE World Podcast, where we explore the magical, mystical, and spiritual world of near-death experiences. And now, Ashton Lewis and Daphne Lynn.
Welcome back, my lovely family and friends. We are the NDE World, and this is our podcast. I am your host, Ashton Lewis, and my assistant here, Miss Daphne Lynn. How's it going, Miss Daphne?
Beautiful as always. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Just keep it up. Keep loving, keep living.
That's right.
Experience and move and share those experiences with others.
That's right, yeah, and bring something more positive to life and to others.
Yes, be kind, as my daughter that was her first thing this morning, talking about her night and her residences. She's like, just be kind.
Right, absolutely.
Like, yes, you never know what kind of people's lives you might influence and change just from that one act.
Absolutely, and you shared the story with me in the actual picture. I thought it was cute where she had her comment was, you know, she's actually in nursing, right? If you don't mind sharing it with us real quick. You said, well, go ahead. Just that little clip that she had mentioned something about you could tell the certain ball games. And
certain game, you can tell when it's game day. Yeah, game day, because they all her residents asking, "Can you find the game for me?" I'm not going to mention the area, but anyway, yeah. Can you find the game for me? And she said, "Just be kind." Apparently, she doesn't like the game. She's like her mama on that one.
Well,
that's why she said, "Be kind."
But it's beautiful that she's in a work that she loves. The humanitarian kind of work, you know what I'm saying?
Yes. And you know,
that's the beauty of it.
She, I know, has many stories to share with others and is in a field that she can share her knowledge of the NDE stuff with people to help comfort them if they have fear and stuff. So she's in a perfect situation to help others.
Think about that. There's another daughter that's in pretty much that kind of line of work as well.
Yeah, two of our daughters,
has
both of them have that
connections to the near-death experience world, you know, in some kind of way, because they are in the medical world.
Yeah.
And also think about the youngest daughter. She's she doesn't do the medical, but she actually does work in the public. So she's a people person.
She's a server,
you know.
yeah. So she gets to share that kindness as well. I mean, so she's helping make other people's day brighter, because I hear so many positive things about her. She just is a light to be around, and that brightens a lot of people's day. There's been times where, you know, she'll say something to a customer and her not knowing what's going on in their lives, but it helped them. So she brightens so many people's days as well. She is a lovely soul. All of them
absolutely. They all are.
Yes.
And I love the fact that they all are aware of their spirituality and conscious of that. So that's the beauty.
Exactly.
That is a beauty and a blessing.
Yes. All of our children are aware of their spiritual side. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, well, today we actually, we're not doing our coffee this morning, nor our cocoa, but we just happen to be drinking some nice hot tea. Okay.
So, tea time.
So it's tea time. Yeah. So we're going to be doing some Q&A today. Just listeners sending questions and things like that. So Miss Daphne has collected some questions, and she's going to be asking them. And we're going to go over those today. It's kind of basic questions that people have concerning the NDE world. Okay, so without further ado, if you want, it looks like you're ready over there, and if you want to go ahead and just go to the first question, you know, or in no particular order, but just start at the top of your list, at whoever wants to know, and we'll do our best to answer.
Sure. Okay, so one of the top questions here is, what are the most common elements or patterns observed in near-death experiences?
Okay, we've actually talked about this in previous episodes, and we actually go over certain elements always on every episode. So, Let's see, off the top of my head, and feel free to chime in, Daphne, I would say definitely the out-of-body experience that kind of triggers everything off. We have the tunnel, the pathway, the light, the bright light.
Sense of being home.
Sense of being home, overwhelming love, meeting deceased loved ones.
Life review.
Seeing
the
other
purge.
spirit creatures or beings, either very spiritual or, like we said, family or things like that, life review. The life review, that's one of my favorite, actually, subject of all of it. Like we said, feeling just unconditional love and peace.
And then there's that sense of limit where you can go no further.
Yeah, absolutely. Typically, the fear of death is usually neutralized or just done away with altogether.
Oh, yeah.
And another thing, it seems to me that a lot of the language is done telepathically.
Yes, exactly. I mean, with most every one of them that you hear of, they have that telepathy communication.
Right, absolutely. Well, very good. Can you think of anything else?
That's pretty much covered.
I would include the return to the body.
Yeah, the return, yeah.
And also the actual experience and what it meant to the person and how it, the lesson or perhaps the gifts or anything.
Right, yeah.
Anything like that? No? Okay, perfect. All right, good. Any more questions? Well, I know we've got
Sure,
plenty
yes,
of questions.
we
I'm
have
sorry.
plenty
What's the next
of questions.
question?
The next, are there cultural or regional variations in the accounts of NDEs?
Yes, we hear they have a lot of common elements, but the elements may be described in different ways. So instead of, for example, maybe a tunnel, they may be going down a path. Or instead of seeing Jesus, they may see Krishna
Vishnu
or Vishnu or whatever. So
Buddha,
the elements are there. They may represent the elements different, and the elements would be what we had just recently covered earlier. So. Is that,
Okay. Can someone have an NDE without experiencing a life-threatening situation?
Gotcha. Okay. You can have what they're calling an NDE is really, they may be kind of referring to the OBE. Like, can you have an out-of-body experience without a life-threatening near-death experience? I think is what.
Yeah. I think that's.
Is that what they're
case.
asking?
I think so.
Okay. Absolutely, you can have it by other means. You can have them through meditations. You can have them just for no reason. You can just have an out of body experience.
Yes.
The out of body experience is what we call here on NDE World is the mystical, magical, spiritual. That's coming away from the body in the current world that we live in, and going over into that world of consciousness and spirituality and things like that. So.
Yeah.
To answer that question, if I'm understanding it right, yes, the OBE can be experienced anytime, anywhere. And to me, I would say that an NDE is a life-threatening situation. So.
Right. Most definitely. Okay, so the next one is, are there cases where NDEs have led to lasting psychological or spiritual changes in individuals?
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
Most of them. A lot of times there were people who weren't that spiritual. It sparked an interest in the spiritual things in life and things like that. Now there also has been people who were raised a certain denomination or a certain belief system, church system, religion, whatever you want to call it, Baptist, Methodist, Protestant, atheist, yeah, absolutely, and have had these NDEs and maybe realize that things were different on the other side, and then totally just give up their religion and their church beliefs and the beliefs that they had, and come back with a whole different story, and that story is usually wrapped around love and forgiveness, and just really life goes on.
Exactly.
So.
Well said. Okay, so next question is, what role do cultural or religious beliefs play in shaping the content of NDEs?
We kind of sort of touched base on that earlier. Well, we do know that a lot of people see spiritual beings. Some of them sense the beings around them, but they can't really see them, but they know they're there. A lot of times they're just beings of light. So some of them see Jesus, although no one has ever seen Jesus, but they just know it's him.
Know that knowing, and even like not knowing or relating it to
the pure
the
consciousness,
figure
the pure
of
love.
Jesus, but they sense and know that that is the God essence, the source, their
Exactly.
belief system hierarchy.
That's how the
person.
source is going to appear to them.
Exactly.
That's how it's going to appear to you. Some people have these visions or these near-death experiences, and some see Jesus, like we mentioned, and some see Vishnu, or some see Krishna, or some see Buddha,
Muhammad,
some see,
From what I'm understanding, though, there's very few mentions of actually seeing some of those because of their culture. They are
Correct.
very reserved to share that experience because of their beliefs in their
You're exactly
deities.
right.
So they don't want
Depends
to
on
share
where
that.
they're at in the world.
Right
You're
here
right.
in our world, in our area of the world, we can
A
share
little more
that
freely
a little
with the
more
near-death
freely.
experience
Yes.
thing. Yeah.
Yes.
Because you can be, say, in a Muslim area, and you go in there and tell them, say you had a dream, a near-death experience
that's
about
frowned
Jesus.
upon. Yeah.
And then what? You can probably get your head chopped off. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, we really don't know. So that's why you don't hear as many accounts of the other ones, because it is, cultural related.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And what you got for the next question?
Okay, how do NDEs impact a person's fear of death?
From my understanding, it totally destroys it. It totally annihilates it. It just totally gets it out of their being, their belief system. It no longer
Has a bearing on them.
no kind of bearing, or just really.
Yeah, I mean, I love the fact that fear is eliminated, and that is what the light workers' main thing is: fear not. Do not fear anything. Live and share your life's joys with others. Experience life. Yes, we're going to have trauma. Yes, we're going to have hurt, but that's all part of the experience. Imagine if it was just blissful all the time. I mean, that is what we get to look forward to on the other side of the veil. But on this side, that is a blessing to
Take
have
what you
both.
can get and learn what you can get. and carry it with you.
Learning experiences, yes, most definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, so this next one is a really good one, and I really like it. Do people who have NDEs display any distinct personality changes or shifts in their belief systems?
Absolutely. And we kind of touched base on that earlier in the other question.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. It affects their belief system, their spirituality, their overall closeness to their fellow man, their more understanding of the oneness and the connection between all life. And for the most part, it changes them for the better, even the NDEs, from what I understand.
Exactly. I would like to cover this one too, and just kind of looking ahead at the questions we have here. And I know my thought process and the things that I've heard with the answer to this question, but let me ask you, and the listener, those that have had experiences would know this firsthand, but have there been instances where people claim to have gained new abilities or heightened senses after an NDE?
Absolutely, yes.
Yes. All kinds of variations.
Both, yeah. Powers, they call gifts. And call them
Spiritual gifts, yes.
Spiritual gifts,
Yeah, most definitely. The spiritual gifts is like, majority have spiritual gifts that they come back with. I mean, I remember there was one that literally they were seeing energies, and it took a couple of days for them to even come back to their full self, to be able, and then even longer to be able to control that gift. So they have can see energies and hear and feel and sense the and empathy, people's emotions. There's just wide variety of spiritual gifts that are bestowed upon these people that have the NDEs.
I'm glad you mentioned that word empathy, because that's a word that I really am looking into more than ever before, and really grasping the concept of empathy and apathy. And it comes down to where people are either empathetic or you're apathetic, and there's a difference in the two. And I think it's such a fascinating concept, and I think there's so much to that we're going to probably do a whole episode just on empathy and apathy.
Yes.
Because I want people to really understand what it means. Because, like you mentioned, the people on the other side, the experiences, it's all empathy. You feel the connection with others. You feel that love that you have for others. You feel that oneness that you have for others, and that's what we're missing here on Earth. Now, there are many of us, that are more
tuned into that,
empathetic than others. Okay, and also then you got the apathy and the apathetic. So we're going to look in that here probably over the next few episodes or something. I want to do one on that as well. Just to kind of throw that out there.
That sounds really good. Yeah, because myself, I pick up on energies. I have all my life, and it just seems as I'm getting older and gaining more and more, feeling it just in the shifts of in the world. But that wisdom that comes with that, you can tune into it and really hear the inner speaking of that empathy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, almost kind of like channeling.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, what's the next question on your list? Let's go ahead and get a few more in real quick.
Okay, let's see. Have there been cases where people report meeting deceased loved ones or entities during an NDE?
Yes, loved ones and entities.
Yeah, that's spiritual guides, angels, knowing the source that people call God.
Deceased family members, loved ones. And,
yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Even pets,
Yeah.
Like we mentioned earlier. Okay, what's the next question?
How do the experiences of individuals who have experienced distressing or unpleasant NDEs differ from those with positive or transcendent experiences?
Yeah, we've kind of touched base on that. That's the NDEs, which is the basic, average near-death experience, and we kind of touched base on, I think, that question number one in this actual broadcast. Now the other one would be the DNDs, like we had mentioned in earlier episodes.
Right.
You have those elements of like the void, or just things not making sense, or kind of confusing, or out there, whatever, or even the hellish.
Right.
So that's kind of, but they are for positive change. It doesn't mean,
it's a lesson.
It doesn't mean that there is an eternal place, a literal place called hell, where these people are going to be tormented. That's not a sign of the afterlife in any kind of way.
Right.
When they have these hellish or these DNDEs, they come back and they learn these lessons, and it makes them a better person.
Right.
From what I understand.
Helps to get them on a spiritual path if they're not on that, or workaholics, or whatever the case may be. It's a lesson for you to change something within.
Absolutely. What's the next question?
Okay, let me find one of those that just really jump out at me. How do NDEs affect an individual's sense of purpose or meaning of life?
It gives them a grander purpose and meaning of life, and
right,
that whole different level of love that we talk about.
All right, and that kind of ties in with the answer to the other last
earlier,
one we were just
sorta, yeah.
answered. Yeah, the effect is you are able to forgive yourself and others. To share love and joy with others. Just really share positive, good experiences. Be the kindness, be the light that if someone else sees that in you, will change and have an effect on that person and them, just like it roll over, pay it forward, keep it going.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Well, looking at the clock, we've probably got time for one more question here, and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up, and then we'll just pick up on another episode to pick up with some more questions. But if you want to go ahead and maybe ask one more, and we go ahead and give it a shot, try to answer it, I'd be glad to.
Have there been documented cases of people receiving information during an NDE that they could not have otherwise known?
Absolutely, and that ties in with one of the previous answers about gaining that knowledge. Mm-hmm. And like the powers and the gifts and the spiritual gifts and things like that. That knowledge, a lot of times I've heard that they can get that knowledge, but at the same time they're not allowed to take it back. They tap into it, but they don't always bring all that knowledge back, right, that all-knowingness.
They don't always retain all of the information. They come back with some of it, but some of it is taken away from them.
Yeah, just maybe a couple of things that they've taken out of that, but they do come back saying that they did get that download or that that awareness or that plug-in or however it was brought to that particular person.
Right.
That instant download or that acknowledgement, that like, whoa, I know everything. So what that is just like tapping into that source just for that few minutes.
Absent with the body is present with the Lord. If you want to go scriptural on it,
it's the source.
That's that piece of source returning to itself, so
Correct.
It gains instant knowledge.
Absolutely, that's that spirit. What we call ourselves spirit. You can even take the Bible if you want to. That says that the spirit goes back to
the source.
The source, or
yes.
the Bible calls God.
Yes, exactly.
So it says the body goes back to the ground, and that's we believe and teach. That it is made of matter. So it will go back to Mother Earth. She will recycle it and use it for whatever else she needs to.
Exactly.
And our spirit moves on. It just goes on. It moves on, and that's what the beauty of a lot of these NDEs and all the stuff that we're learning. So it really ties into that spiritual aspect, and that's why I love it. To be honest with you.
Me too. I mean, there's so much beauty and lessons that we can learn from listening and reading and watching these experiences that we can take and grow and become wise and share these experiences with others to eliminate fear in the world.
Destroy the religious dogma and the poisoned minds that religion has done to people.
Exactly, yeah.
Because I would rather take, a commonality of studies over, it may be even closer to 100,000 by now. I don't know, but I know for a fact I've heard numbers of up to over 65,000 tests all over the world since they've been doing these studies and all of actual scientific data, scientific proof, scientific everything that's saying this is very serious. It works, and when you hear all the stories and start looking at all the elements, it's too much commonality and there's too many things that's happening. To me, I would rather believe something like that than the dogmatic mind control, of religion. But I don't want to knock anybody's religion, because if it makes them a better person and helps them to get to source, by all means, amen. I love you all and all of your belief systems, and go for it. Now you're the one, and that's your walk. Who am I to say anything about your walk?
And who is that person to say anything about our walk? So it goes both ways.
That's right. Yeah. Who are you to tell me how to walk my walk, right? And who am I to tell you how to walk your walk?
Exactly.
And it's very simple concept. It's just you're going to be drawn to your spiritual self, however that source appears or appeals to you.
Exactly.
So,
and that's the beauty of it, just letting us all live and be ourselves.
Absolutely. Well, I hate to kind of close this session out, but I'm looking at the clock there, so we're going to go ahead and wrap things up, because we like to keep everything within programming, timing there. So I am your host, Ashton Lewis, and this is my assistant, Miss Daphne, Lynn. And any final comments on today's episode of Q&A?
Tea time Q&A.
There you go, tea time Q&A.
Yeah, no, I have really enjoyed this. I mean, I would like to maybe down the road do some more tea time Q&As. I think that would be very interesting.
Me too. Yeah, I like the idea because it's really about just teaching others about the NDE or the near-death experience phenomenon,
Right.
and that's what we're here for. So,
Yes.
all right. Well, then let's go ahead and wrap things up for this session, and I feel good about it, and I'm looking forward to our next episode together. We love you all. Peace and blessings, and until next time.
Let your light shine.
For more information about the NDE World Podcast, visit nde.world. That's nde.world. We want to hear your story.